guys, welcome back to another video in the Python Basics series. In this video, we'll be talking about if and else statements. So I made a little repository for this series. I'm going to show you, and the link to the repository will be down in the description. So just in case you want to review some lessons without watching the full video, just go on the repository, look at some of the code. So yeah. Now I'm going to switch over screens. So as you can see, I have the repository open. And so in the master branch, there's the first, the first lesson. Lesson 1, that's the first video, right? So we made the Hello World application, as you can see right here. By the way, I recommend you watch all the videos in order. Unless you might be coming from like another language, then you might understand half of the stuff we're doing. But if you're someone that's very new to programming, like this is your first language ever, I recommend for you to go through all the tutorials in order to get the full understanding and get the most out of it. So in lesson 2, I have another file called tut2. Now this has all the finished code. So by the time the video's out, the lesson 2 will be out too. Probably even the lesson 3 because I do them before record. So now we can get right into coding. So all I did on my, as you can see, all I did was I just created a file. If you forgot how to create a file, it's right there. Now I didn't delete my file for my, like, if you see my lesson 1 yeah, so as you can see, we have the hello world.py right here, right? Now we're on the lesson 2, so I'm gonna switch back to lesson 2. Okay, so if you're using repositories, if you switch between lessons, it's going to give you this deleted. Don't worry, it's not actually deleted. It's just that when you switch between, there's different files for each thing. Okay. So either way, let's get right into coding. So first of all, I'm going to declare a variable. So I'm going to call it number. Sorry for the misspelling. Number equals 90. And then I'm going to write a couple operators. By the way, I don't know what these are called. If anyone knows, please comment down below so I can use the correct name. So as you can see, equal, not equal, greater than equal to, less than equal to, greater than, and then less than. Okay. Now, okay. So I'll just do number. Number operators. Okay. And when we get to strings, I'll show you the string ones. Okay, but right now we're doing numbers and I guess floats and ints, whatever. So right now we're working with ints, but you can also do this with floats. It really doesn't matter what type you have. Just floats and ints are technically the same, and then strings are the ones that different. Okay, whatever. So I can do like if number greater than, okay, I'm just starting with easy stuff, equal to 90, print true. So, I don't have declare. So as you can see right here, it prints true because this is true, this condition. Now if I do not equal to 90, pretty straightforward, not going to print anything. Now as you can see, it doesn't print anything. This is where the else statement would come into play. So if I write else and then print every other condition failed. Okay, as you can see. Now, if you look, it prints every other condition failed because we have an else. So if any ifs or else above the else fail, then the else runs. Now, I'm not saying like if you have another if statement like right here, number not equal to 90, right? I'm not saying this would run. This is not considered part of this if statement. Hold up, I'll show you after I write this. Okay, sorry for the misspelling, but it's okay. So this is considered one if statement, and this is. You can only have like one if per if statement. Now there's something called elifs, which lets you expand this statement. Elif is short for else if. So you don't have to write, instead of this, if you think about it, if you only have ifs and not elifs, you would have to write another if. You can't even use else's. It's kind of useless then, unless you only have to check for one condition. You'll see what I get. So like right now, it's gonna print 1 and then nothing. Now if I can add an else to this, okay, and print if 1, okay. So as you can see, both of these are not part of one if, because this is part of a whole nother if, because I can't add another else. Like, it's impossible. I can't add like this, okay? Else, print, I. So you'll see I get a syntax here. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, you see? I can't have two else's with one if. So the way to fix that, the way to check for multiple arguments is called an elif. Now an elif is just an if, except instead of in an if you can only use one condition and an else. An elif lets you expand on the if. Like I can use multiple conditions. So now if I do number equal to 1, right? Number equal to 90, not 1, sorry. Print number is. So as you can see, now this failed, okay? So this failed, this is not true. I'm just gonna erase this because you kind of already got the point. But now you can see that it checks for both of these. And this was incorrect, so it went onto the elif. This was correct, so it did print the else. But if this was incorrect too, right? As you can see, it would print the else. Now, so if we have something like this where two statements are true, the first one is gonna print first. Also goes with elifs, and by the way, you can have as many elifs as you want. You just are limited to one if and one else for each if statement. So as you can see, it prints true because even though both of these conditions are true, if one condition is true, then every other condition below it, including the else, does not get ran, and the next line after the whole else, then gets ran. And by the way, else's are not necessary, and so our elifs are also not necessary. So we can print done right here. So as you can see, if one condition runs, it doesn't just break out the whole loop. It just breaks out of the whole if statement and not the whole program, and it still runs everything after the if statement. So you kind of get the basic idea. And this might confuse you a bit, but as you can see, it still said true. So this is because first it checks if number is greater than 90, false obviously. Then it checks if number is equal to 90. So if number is greater or equal to 90, that's going to be true. So you know how we said or and not and? So or only means one, and then and would mean both. And now there's also an and or that you can put in if. So I can check for two things. Then I can check if number is equal to 80. Okay. So as you can see, this is gonna fail, and this is what it's gonna show us. Yeah, because both of these are not true. Now if I put an or over here, right, this is gonna run. And if I put an and make both of them true, so if I just do the same thing, okay, greater than equal to, well, number is greater than 80, so it's still gonna, now it's gonna say true, because this is a true argument, and so is this. So as you can see, and same thing, you can use these in elifs too. So we can do or, we'll do and number colon, greater than equal to 90, okay? Oh wait, sorry, we have to make this false to run the elif. Okay. So as you can see, oh wait, 90. Sorry about that. So yeah, this number is equal because both of these are true. Now if I change this to false, right, it's gonna print the else, right? Yeah. So you can use or too, right? Now this is gonna print, so the second one's gonna print. As you can see, yeah. So you got a basic idea of how you can use and or with variables and integers and also floats. This would work on floats too. It's gonna be the same idea except these values might be different. So you might be comparing it to like 9.23 or 9.43, and this might be like 90.90. Okay, or you can have as many decimal points as you want to. But yeah, okay. For now I'm just gonna keep it like this. I'm gonna comment all this out, and we'll be working with strings now. So I have about 5 minutes left to explain strings. Like basically same idea. By the way, all of this will be posted on GitHub. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of spelling mistakes today. Okay, so we can use equal, not equal, and in. But you're gonna be confused. The equal and not equal mean the same thing with integers and strings, but you're gonna be confused with the in. So I'm gonna take a bit of time to explain that. So I can just declare a string variable. Okay, I forgot, but this should I should declare this in all caps since it's a static variable. Either way, it doesn't matter. That's just variable name. Okay, so I'm gonna do string equals hello. So you know how I wrote that with the capital H? Now if I go to compare it, so if string equals, okay, hello, you can, I'm gonna print. So you can also use else's and elifs with strings. It's just that for simplicity and time management, I'm not going to because I only have 50 minutes left. But I'm just gonna put true, okay? Now, oh sorry. I'm just gonna turn this lowercase. Also for time management. Okay, so now you can see it printed. It didn't go through this because this was not true. Now if I do with the capital H, it will be true. So to get past this problem, I can just run the dot lower method, which turns all the uppercase into lowercase letters, right? Now it's gonna be true. And there's also a dot upper method, does the same thing, but it turns all the lower case to the uppercase. So this, when I run dot lower and dot upper, it doesn't change the value of the string. Like if I pin string right here, string, right? It's not gonna change the value. You can see it's still with the capital H, right? But it makes like a duplicate of that string, and everything in that duplicate gets turned to uppercase letters or lowercase letters, and you're comparing your value, whatever you put here, to the duplicate. Okay, makes sense. A bit at least. So now I'm gonna show you what the in does. And also not equal also works. This is gonna not print obviously. Yeah, see it doesn't print. Now I'm gonna show you the in, okay? And you can also use the dot upper and dot lower on basically anything. So I'm gonna do h in string dot lower. I just like the dot lower method a lot, and I think you're gonna use it way more than the dot upper. Okay, so as you can see, it said true because there's an H in the, remember we converted it to lower, and then it makes a duplicate with all the uppercase, lowercase, so the H in that duplicate is lowercase, and we got true. Now if I put Ellen, right, even though it's at the middle of the word, it still prints true, okay? But now if I put something like random, okay, and by the way, you don't have to put one letter, I can just put HE or something like that, you can put multiple letters. Yeah, see, now I'm gonna do some random letters, So as you can see, it didn't print anything because this wasn't true. So that's a simple idea of how you can compare stuff that's inside a string too. Next video, I'll be showing you inputs, and we're gonna go way more in depth into if statements in the next couple of videos because if statements are kind of like the main part of coding. All these basics, you can go like anywhere with them after you learn them, like you can do anything. But that's it for this video. See you till next time, and remember, next video will be about inputs. So it's going to be really fun, and we'll be able to get users' inputs. But till then, see you till next time.